Cheer Tyme Love, Worlds 2013. Toughest division in all-star cheerleading. First year gym, just jumping in the deep end, seeing if you can swim.
That's kind of our saying, actually, for as a team. I mean, we talk directly of sink or swim. Like, you've got to really jump in and don't drown in this division. Like, for the talent that these athletes have, we're right there with everyone else. There are some areas that we're lacking, but the big thing that Liz, myself, and Crasher really push for these girls are do what you're good at and excel at that and go from there. You know, we're not going to produce 15, 20 doubles in a season, but the doubles we will throw will be complete. The fulls that we will throw will be the most elite passes and that we can do for tumbling. When it comes to stunting, we're cleaning up the technique, getting all those little areas that we can make up our free points in that aspect. Not just staring at difficulty, but also really paying attention to the technique side of that score sheet.
What's it like for you to be a part of a full-paid, large senior 5 to Worlds? What's that journey been like for you?
It's very exciting. Like you said, I have coached a lot of the girls that are on Cheer Tyme Love. And, you know, last year, unfortunately for them, we had an issue happen where we received a bid to Worlds, and then we had to decline it. And, you know, those kids worked just as hard as all of the teams that were able to go to Worlds. And so that was something that was really hard for them to swallow. And to be able to watch them work hard and get that reward was really awesome for me. I'm very proud of them and happy that they get to experience that. They deserve it.
That's awesome. And now this year they've got a full paid bid. Mm-hmm. Yes, full paid?
Yes.
Full paid bid from WSF. And last year they had an at-large bid, right?
Right.
So this is like
icing on the cake.
Crasher, you're no stranger to Worlds. This is a first-year gym in this location, but you've had a lot of teams with a lot of success at Worlds. This is the first time you're in large senior 5. This is the first time you're in the most polarizing division, the competition. People are already calling it the Super 6. It has a nickname. And you're diving in head first. Opened up a gym and said, we're going to do large senior 5. How do you feel?
I couldn't be prouder right now, actually. A lot of things came together at the right time down here. We've been in this area for a long time, but we've never had a physical presence down here. We've worked with a lot of the high school teams and got to know a lot of them and build our rapport with athletes in this area, and it's been really good. Won state championships with many of these kids that are on this team with their prospective high schools, and then we got Earl, and bringing Earl in and having Liz and her husband Jeff come on board has just been, everything has come together right at the right time. And yep, I had that goal that I wanted to have a large senior, but you know, I'm having a gym in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania for as long as I have. I've always wanted to be in the large senior division. And it's an exciting division. It's almost like, you know, so much history in that division, so much prestige, and it's really defined our sport. And so many of the other divisions have branched off because of that division, all the smalls and mediums and things like that. So it's really been exciting to be a part of it, and to actually see it come to fruition right now with Cheer Tyme Love, which, you know, that was the other thing, driving down the highway and seeing the signs, Virginia's for Lovers. I'm a Pennsylvania guy, but I'm looking, Virginia's for Lovers. I got to think of what is my marketing strategy on this gym? And love, and it was boom, love. It just hit me like a ton of bricks, like love. What little girl in Virginia at the age of 3, 4, or 5 isn't going to one day want to be on Love? I'm just so proud of the athletes on that team, to see them now and to see these coaches, the job they're doing with them. It's exciting. It's wonderful. It's great to be able to be a part of it all. And, you know, Super 6, that's, you know, we're just humbled to be in the mix, you know. So
Super 6, humbled to be in the mix.
Humbled to be in the mix.
Earl, you're originally from the Northern Virginia area?
No, I was born here, but I've been raised in Florida.
Okay.
The Brandon area.
Okay. So you've made full circle.
Yeah.
Back home. Talk about where you've been and what you've learned, where you've been, mm-hmm. and how you bring that back to Northern Virginia.
Starting at Brandon All-Stars, I'm working, Peter Lezen was pretty much like a mentor, a brother, a father figure to me. Really learning at the very beginning of my career in cheerleading, a foundation with your gym, building the proper foundation with your program, not just always focusing on your seniors, but really building up your program and making sure every team is really pushing the envelope. From there at gym time at the University of Louisville, I really saw the focus on skills. it is a tough place to be when you're a cheerleader, when you're at the top, the peak, you know, when you're at that mountain, everyone's staying on top. And at Louisville, it really showed me and taught me, if you really want something, you've got to dig and you've got to fight, and you can't stop one day. No day's an off day. That was the big thing that I learned at Louisville, because every position's competitive. As good as you think you are, there's 3 people just as good as you, right behind you, right in front of you, right next to you. So that kind of was an eye-opener. At Ultimate Athletics, really learned a lot from Craig L. and Michelle Reisdorf on the business model and the other side of cheerleading, not just always looking at the success rate and making sure it isn't always about just a win, but also the progression of your athletes. You may not walk out of a season with 10 wins, you may walk out with 2. But as long as your team has progressed in some aspect of cheerleading and the tumbling, the stunting, the confidence level, I think those are the things that really kind of complete the circle. And then when I came here, it was really putting all those pieces together and trying to stay consistent. I think that is the most difficult thing to do in our sport with every decision you make, because there's always a case-by-case situation. And the hardest thing is to stay consistent. And I think that's something that Liz and I really pushed, not just with our level 5 team, but I've really looked into her and looked into Crasher and looked into Jeff as almost like a confidant, because they've all been there. And for me, this is my first shot, and I want to make sure that I'm doing it right for our program, I'm doing it right for our kids, I'm doing it right for the staff. You know, you have a happy staff, you have happy kids, your gym's going to do nothing but flourish. And that's my focus. I'm not always right. I can't make everyone happy, but I can try to be as fair as possible, and that's my goal.
Dallas was Super 6. This is it's a rematch. Same 6 teams, different scoring system, different judges, but same 6 teams. What do you feel like your athletes, and maybe even you as coaches, learned from the experience of going against some of these teams in Dallas?
I mean, Dallas for us was a great experience because it was the first time being in an arena with these teams. And, you know, for so long, the girls on our team have admired these athletes, you know, since they started cheerleading. So for them to go head to head with them was intimidating, it was exciting. I mean, the girls had so many emotions. And we had to try to figure out how to lasso all of that up and control their emotions and to keep them focused. And I think we learned from that. And so we came back into the gym, we revamped our routine a little bit, we've worked on their stage presence, we've worked on their focus, we've tried to drive them down this narrow path so that when they get a second chance, they're mentally prepared, physically prepared, and confident, you know, just so that they couldn't worry about themselves, go out on stage and be proud of what they put out there, you know, and I think that's been our main focus since Dallas.
Teams you're going against have all 4 out of the 6 in that division have won Worlds in the past. You've been to many competitions this season and have competed against some of these very same teams at other events where you were ahead after day 1 and weren't able to close the door. Some people will call that first year Jim would say that's a victory to be ahead after day 1. It's our first year in this division. These teams have been in this division forever. Some teams would say we choked. Where do you feel you are with that in the finishing it from day 1 to day 2?
The interesting part about Worlds is there's only a day 2 if there is a day 1. So we have to go in there with the mindset that every single performance is our last, and we need to put everything we have into that performance because it could be the last time that team gets to go out on the floor together. You know, I defer a lot of it to to the coaches. They work with them on a one-on-one basis a lot more. They spend a lot of time with them on a one-on-one basis, and they're focusing on getting them mentally prepared, physically prepared. The practices that they have been running are very conditioned based right now. So I think that when they take the floor in Worlds on day 1, they know that if they don't pull it all together at this point in time, there may not be another opportunity for them. So it's really one of those do or die kind of thought processes. And, you know, we talk a lot about the other amazing teams, and it's you know, you got the cheer celebrity stuff going on, and social media is such a driving force in our industry now. And these kids, you know,
yes, we are. Yes,
yes, you are. Exactly. Absolutely. And there you are, capitalizing on that. And, you know, it's such a driving force in our industry, and our kids, they're so aware of it, and they're so on top of it, and they're looking at, you know, they're watching videos and they're watching YouTubes and they're seeing it all the time. But, you know, I think for our kids, they understand where they are. They understand they're the new kids on the block. They're coming into this with the thought process that they really have to develop a name for themselves. And they're getting very, very good guidance right now from Earl. And, you know, it's those things are very important. We need to have that, you know. We need to have guidance, people that, you know, have been there before. Liz and Earl, obviously Earl on the mat, Liz as well, and coaching and being a part of Worlds teams and have won Worlds in the past, and, you know, to be able to show the kids, here's what a ring looks like, to be a part of that, you know, that's invaluable to our athletes, and it's important for them to see that it's something that's capable for them, but it doesn't get handed to you. There's a lot of hard work involved and a lot of build up to it. You know, I look at the programs that we have to compete against, and there are some very long time programs that have been around in that division, very solidified in the division, to a point where there's almost a pre-existing thought process that occurs when you're on a judging panel looking at them as what you expect from that team. I expect this from that team. And we come to the table in a situation where the judging panel doesn't really know what to expect because we're new. I mean, they know Cheer Tyme. You know, Cheer Tyme's not a new name. It's been around. We're actually going into our 15th year. I always resort back to the fact that I'm really happy where we are right now as a team, and I've seen consistent improvement since day one with these athletes, with the consistency of the coaching. We're very pleased. My wife and I couldn't be happier with the fact they have a paid bid going in. Like I said, we're excited to compete against those teams, and you know, it's a division that I wanted to see flourish. I've always wanted to see it grow more because it's such an exciting 36 kids on the floor. That's exciting to watch that. It's way more exciting than 20 kids on the floor. You got bigger everything, you know. And believe me, I say that knowing what it's like to be 20 on the floor because that's a division I've been in for a very, very long time. So, you know, my hat's off to 20 on the floor. That's a much more difficult routine to do than 36 on the floor. And there's just a lot of excitement. I'm happy for our kids, happy for the athletes training in the gym, and just really exciting time. So I can't wait to see us go out on the floor and do our thing. Looking forward to it.
Earl, how have you managed the expectations? What are your expectations?
I am very realistic. I think with a lot of what we do, what we say, and how we do it, I don't want to build a kid up on false hopes. You know, I tell them realistically, you know, the world, everyone has us in sixth. For us, we're not going out there to win a globe this season. We're going out there to put on the best two performances that we can put on that weekend, and we'll let the judges see where we place. For us, if we're able to conquer one team and essentially beat one team, for us, that is the biggest victory we could have ever accomplished in our entire season. For those other 5 teams in our division, I think for them, they're reasonably thinking they are going to go out and win Worlds. For us, we're going out there to do our best 2 performances. I think with the routine that we've been able to put together, with the percentage of perfection of the skills that we're putting out there, I think for us, we're going to do incredibly well. Again, it all lays down to, as exciting as this division is, it's an inconsistent division also. I think pound for pound, every team in this division has not gone out there and put on 2 perfect performances. No team in our division has done that. So that is our goal. Our goal isn't to beat anyone else. Our goal is to put the pressure on you to be as perfect as we were. So I think that has been our mindset going out, and that's how we've kind of combated that expectation with our athletes. We've really told them, let's be perfect. You know, if we can go out there and hit and be perfect and have a very, very high percentage of perfection, it'll work out. And I think we told our kids that from our first event. That was WSF. We were able to land a full paid bid. So I think that's really how we've dealt with that going into every single event, really looking at it in that realistic idea of what we're capable of doing. Do what you're good at. Don't try something too hard.
Behind these closed doors, and just a couple of people that might be watching this on the internet, do you think that strategy could backdoor your way up and through the ladders? I mean, you got 4 or 5 teams that are going all out, every skill they got. with the pressure of Worlds. And like you said, all these teams have made mistakes at other events. Do you think if you can hit 2 clean routines, you can climb up that ladder?
Well, ideally, we'd like to put 12 stunts in the air that all do, 4 different level 5 skills and double down out of every position, and all 36 girls throw a double. But, we know who we are, and I think we're playing to our strengths. And I think that we're, with that focus in mind and focusing on being clean, that could play into that could definitely help us. But, we, just like anybody else, we still have to hit our routine as well. So, it's a lot about who is the cleanest. Our sport is obviously rather skill driven, but it's also turned even more so into the cleanliness side of it as well. It's not just so how many fulls or how many doubles you can throw, but how many clean fulls and how many clean doubles you can throw. Same with stunting. So, it is about cleanliness as well. And I think that we have a very good shot in that regard. So,
well, good luck, guys. I really wish you guys the best of luck.